Alright guys, welcome back to the channel where today we're talking WWE 2K20 with 6 superstars who are set to be removed from the game and the reasons why. The first superstar on our list comes from NXT with one half of Tag Team The Mighty with Nick Miller. Miller made his debut in the series back in WWE 2K18 alongside tag team partner Shane Thorne following impressive displays on NXT that seen the pair reach the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic only to lose to the Authors of Pain. Following that loss, much of the following year seen the pair off of TV due to Thorne undergoing knee surgery, then upon returning they were then defeated in the first round of the Dusty Rhodes Classic, once again at the hands of AOP. After that, the pair were used sparingly on TV, leading to Miller requesting his release from the company in December so that he could spend more time with his family back home in Australia, with his release then granted on December 14th. Next up we have none other than Y2J Chris Jericho, whose name just made the list. That's because after being written off of WWE TV to fulfill commitments to his band Fozzy and making several appearances for New Japan Pro Wrestling where he wrestled the likes of Kenny Omega, Jericho only made 2 appearances for WWE in 2018, one in a backstage segment with Elias at Raw 25 and the other as the final entrant in last year's Greatest Royal Rumble. That appearance turned out to be Jericho's last with the company, as following that he continued to work with New Japan and even appeared at All In before then deciding to sign with the newly created AEW, a move which seen WWE instantly move Jericho to the alumni section of WWE.com. Up next we have the Perfect 10 Tye Dillinger, who despite getting a huge following in NXT and having a great connection with the fans, his move to SmackDown Live didn't really take off the way he hoped, as after a main roster debut that seen him appear as the number 10 entrant in the 2017 Royal Rumble, Dillinger found himself making sporadic appearances throughout 2018 before then suffering an injury at a WWE Live event in August, which caused him to be out of action until September. Upon his return, Dillinger faced off against Shinsuke Nakamura for the US Championship, only to then be attacked by Randy Orton in what would be his final TV appearance for the company. That was due to the fact that Dillinger suffered a hand injury in October, which once again seen him sidelined for several months, which upon returning and not being used on TV, Dillinger requested his release on his birthday, which was then granted 3 days later on February 22nd. When WWE revealed the signing of Hideo Itami at NXT TakeOver Fatal 4-Way in 2014, it looked as though Hideo would be destined for the top and booked as one of NXT's top talents. However, after suffering a shoulder injury that was supposed to keep him out of action for 6 months, he was actually off TV for over a year, before then returning and suffering a neck injury at a live event which would again keep him out of action for a further 7 months. Once Hideo made his eventual return, his career seemed to be getting back on track, as following a successful heel turn he started to gain some momentum, only to then be called up to the main roster on 205 Live, where he spent the following year before then requesting his release at the end of January, which was granted and officially announced on February 22nd. In a video posted by the WWE's Performance Center YouTube channel, Itami noted that the reason for requesting his release was due to the fact that he was struggling to learn and understand English, bringing to an end his 5-year stint with the company. Following a hugely successful debut that seen TGP compete in and win the Cruiserweight Classic back in 2016, becoming WWE's first Cruiserweight champion of the modern era and even sparking the creation of 205 Live, 2017 wasn't quite the same, as it seen TGP turn heel before then taking a hiatus to rehab a knee problem which kept him out of action for 6 months. Upon returning, he would make it to the quarterfinals of the Cruiserweight Championship tournament where he was defeated by Cedric Alexander before then going on to spend the majority of his time feuding with the Lucha House Party. On the February 19th episode of 205 Live, TGP was defeated by Humberto Carrillo in what would be his final match with the company, as alongside Tye Dillinger and Hideo Itami, TGP was the 3rd superstar to be released from the company on February 22nd, bringing his game to an end. Finally, the last superstar on this list, and arguably the one to have the biggest impact on WWE 2K20, is Dean Ambrose. That's because, despite still being under contract at present, WWE.com have announced that Ambrose will be finishing up with the company at WrestleMania after turning down the option to re-sign. Unlike the other superstars on this list, Ambrose's departure could impact the game severely depending on what 2K have planned, as should he sign with AEW as is speculated, then you could imagine WWE wouldn't want Ambrose featured in the game, which could also cause problems for 2K should they have been working on any content featuring the Shield and the highly requested Shield 2K Showcase. Should Ambrose, however, choose not to sign with AEW and instead take a break from wrestling, then there is a chance that he could still be included as part of a separate deal, or should he take a U-turn and decide to stay with the company. So this is one that could go either way, but at present it looks as though Ambrose won't be a part of WWE 2K20, and with WWE still rumoured to be releasing more talent, then there might be a few more stars added to this list. Anyway guys, that does it for this video, but I'd love to know what your take is, so please do leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay up to date with all the latest news on WWE 2K20. Until next time though, all that's left for me to say is I hope you've enjoyed this video, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.